Hey guys, Jeffrey here. Airbnb, if done correctly, is one of the most profitable side hustles. When you compare Airbnb to other types of side hustles, Airbnb stands above all of them in terms of profitability. On average, Airbnb hosts make about 3 times as much as other gig workers. And don't just take my word for it. There's a study done by Earnest.com. They are an online lending company. And they found that on average, Airbnb hosts make $924 per month, with over half of them making $440. Compare this with TaskRabbit, which is the next most profitable side hustle. TaskRabbit workers make an average of $380 per month, with over half of them making over $110 per month. I've been doing Airbnb for almost 2 years now, and with anything that I pursue seriously, I try to learn as much as I can. So in this video, I'm going to go over some things that not all Airbnb hosts know, and then I'm going to be going over some tips that would be useful for anyone that has an Airbnb or wants to start an Airbnb in the future. The first tip is understand how Airbnb's algorithm works. Airbnb's algorithm changes from time to time, and the specifics are not publicly available, so it's not really possible to understand exactly how the algorithm works, but it's super important to the success of your listing to understand how the algorithm works. If you've never done Airbnb before, in the very beginning, when you first list, you're going to be surprised at how many bookings that you get. Just know, even though you're getting a ton of bookings in the beginning, it's not the norm. So what's happening is that Airbnb is trying to give a fair shot to all new hosts and all new listings. Your new listing is going to get a boost in views for the first 48 hours. So during this time, you want to get as many bookings as possible. Airbnb allows you to promote your listing by giving it a new listing promotion. So take advantage of this promotion by offering a 10 to 20% discount on your listing. After 48 hours, you're kind of on your own to make your listing as compelling as possible so you can attract views organically. The number of views that you get is going to depend on a couple things. The first thing is your reviews. So this is why I say that you should try to get as many bookings as possible within the first 48 hours, because those bookings are eventually going to translate to reviews. And if those reviews are good, it's going to help you down the line. So your first reviews are super important. You want to have your first 10 reviews at 5 stars. So if you end up having a bad review within your first 10 reviews, you should just start over. Just delete your listing and start over from the beginning until you get your first 10 reviews at 5 stars. It's that important. After reviews, the next most important factor when it comes to ranking on the search results is price. So the lower your price compared to your competition, the higher that you'll rank on the search results. Generally speaking, if you use the tool that Airbnb gives you called smart pricing, you'll be priced generally a bit low compared to your competition, and you'll be leaving some money on the table. But in the beginning, I would just recommend using smart pricing until you get a better understanding of the competitive landscape of your area. So you can use smart pricing in the beginning, and then after that, you can use a combination of smart pricing with a minimum daily rate. So you can just say that, okay, I want Airbnb, you decide how much I should price my listing for, but don't go below a certain price. Like don't go below $59, for example. And then once you get comfortable with that, you can start using software to help you out with your nightly price dynamically. So I just recently started doing this, so I don't have a ton of knowledge yet about the optimal strategy for this, but I will gain knowledge on this. So if you want to learn more about this topic, just let me know and I'll talk about it in the future. A couple other easy things you could do to make sure that you rank high in the search results is, the first thing is turn on Instabook. You can limit the people who Instabook your place to people who have already been vetted by the system, people that already have a government ID verified, a phone number verified, and a positive review. Personally, I just limit people that have a government ID and a phone number verified. If they don't have a positive review, I don't limit them to not be able to Instabook, because Right now, I would say like 70 to 80% of the people who book my place, they are using Airbnb for the first time. So I don't want to limit Instabook to such a small pool of people. The next small thing you could do is have a low minimum stay requirement. I recommend a 2-night minimum stay. This accomplishes a couple of things. The first thing that it accomplishes is that it exposes you to a larger pool of people so that you can get more views on your listing. And then the second thing it does is it allows you to get more reviews quickly, which again will help you down the line. So when it comes to the algorithm, just think about what Airbnb wants a potential guest to do. They want a potential guest to browse through a couple listings, eventually click on one, review that listing, and then book. So in order to rank high on the search results, you need to have a high click-through rate. So basically that means when your listing is presented to a potential guest that they click on your listing. And then number two is have a high booking rate. So when they do actually click on your listing, at what percentage do they actually book? So in addition to having very good reviews and also being affordable in price, in order to rank high in search results, you need to have a compelling listing. So this means that you have very nice pictures, you have a thorough description, and in addition to that, Airbnb also wants to make sure that you never cancel on a guest. So once you do get a booking, never cancel on a guest, like pretty much ever. And even if you've never canceled on a guest, Airbnb still looks at some indicators to determine whether or not you're more likely or less likely to cancel on a guest. One of them is your response rate. So make sure that you respond to your guests as quickly as possible. And another thing is if your calendar is up to date. So Airbnb looks at how often you update your calendar. So if you update your calendar often, it actually places you higher on the search results. One small hack you can do is just once in a while, just go into your calendar and block off a random date in the future and then come back like a week later and just unblock it. The second major tip that I have is to make sure that your place is super, super clean. And this might sound obvious to make sure that your place is really clean, but the number one complaint that hosts receive is about cleanliness. So what this tells me is that a lot of people don't understand the thoroughness needed in order to make sure a place is super clean. And this doesn't just include like cleaning the major things, like cleaning the bathroom, the sink, the toilet, washing the sheets, the towels, wiping down surfaces. This also includes a lot of the minor things that people tend to overlook, like cleaning the inside of the microwave, inside of the fridge. You'll be surprised at where like little hairs show up everywhere, like inside drawers, inside shelves, cleaning little oily smudges off of surfaces like your sofa or a chair. In the beginning, I would recommend doing all the cleaning yourself so you can get a better understanding of what it takes in terms of thoroughness. Even if you hire out, you need to be able to explain to your cleaners what your expectations are and inspect the place properly after they're done. I don't personally use cleaners right now. My wife and I do all the cleaning ourselves, but that would probably change once we get one or two more listings. The third major tip that I have for new hosts is to reinvest in your listing to make it better. A portion of your earnings should go towards improving your listing because this is a business after all, and businesses are competitive. So you want to make sure that you have an edge over your competition, and this includes reinvesting into your listing. And of course, address the essentials like fix that broken fan, or perform routine maintenance and just replace what needs to be replaced. But this also includes like making your place more stylish, like replace the furniture, replace the carpet with hardwood floors or vinyl. Maybe even consider remodel your bathroom or kitchen. You probably know better than anyone else on what you should do to make your listing more competitive. Just remember that you're in it for the long run. Don't just make decisions that will maximize your earnings for this year. Make decisions that will help you 5 to 10 years down the line. All right, so I'm gonna keep this video short, but if you want me to talk more about this topic, just let me know in the comments below, or just simply click the like button to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. A couple months ago, I did a video with a tour of my Airbnb, and also talked about how much we made in one of the worst months possible, which is September of 2020. I plan to do an update to that video in a couple of weeks and talk about how much we will possibly make in one of our best months possible. Hopefully that all works out and we do end up having a good month. So stay tuned for that video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.